Comfortable today, but after that, it feels like summer. How the heat and humidity could affect your weekend plans.
Water restrictions progress. Constraints on when you can water your lawn are even more critical as heat moves in this weekend. How Raleigh city leaders say you can help protect water levels.
Big festivals, a lot of major events happening in the Triangle this weekend. WRAL looks into the costs for organizers, how they're trying to avoid passing those costs on to you. We're following those stories and a whole lot more. WRAL News at 8 on Fox 50 starts in 30 seconds.
At Leith Honda in Raleigh and Auto Park Honda in Cary, we make your buying process easy. And with every new car purchase, you'll enjoy complimentary oil changes and exceptional service. It's no wonder we've earned so many 5-star reviews. You'll also get peace of mind pricing with every used vehicle, and if it's not the perfect fit, no problem. Bring it back within 3 days for an easy exchange. Visit our showroom at Auto Park Honda in Cary or Leith Honda in Raleigh. It's easier here.
Your number one source for local news. This is WRAL, coverage you can count on.
Good morning. The time is 8 o'clock on your Friday morning. Thanks for joining us on Fox 50. I'm Laura Levine.
And I'm Ken Smith. It's a chilly start to the morning, but boy, things are going to warm up. But enjoy today. Let's get to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, tracking it all for us.
It's time to get outside. Enjoy today while we have it. This is going to be the last day where it's really comfortable outside during the afternoon. We get into tomorrow and the weekend, and the heat is on, and with some humidity arriving, it's really going to feel like summer. It's comfortable out there right now. Of course, this is Southern Pines, Longleaf Golf and Family Club. 52 degrees is what we're seeing at the Triangle. It's also 52 here in Southern Pines, 54 in Rocky Mount, still 48 in Roxborough. But now that we've hit 8 o'clock, starting to see a slight warm up. We should hit 70 by lunchtime, and we'll be in the upper 70s for highs this afternoon. The weekend, though, is not going to feel anything like today. We climb 10 degrees for Saturday into the upper 80s and then into the low 90s on Sunday. And it's Sunday that we really start to see the humidity kicking in as well. I'll show you what it will feel like all the way into next week coming up, Ken.
All right, what's happening now at the WRAL Traffic Center. Let's take a look at that southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. These are the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. Really, truly, once you get around the Gorman Street exit, it's clear sailing all the way to Cary and beyond. Right now, you're just looking at a 3-minute delay on that southern loop of the Beltline. If you're navigating I-40 westbound, you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County, or even through Wade Avenue, it's all delay-free at this hour. So let's hop over to the northern loop of the Beltline, showing you that you're only looking at a 1-minute delay, seeing a little bit of a slowdown around the New Bern Avenue interchange, but that's not going to make you late at all this morning. So let's check some of the other routes, starting with I-87 coming in out of Smithfield. Boy, no delays whatsoever in those southbound lanes, which is really good news for our folks coming in from Nidale and All Points East. So really and truly, again, 1-minute delay coming in from the Nidale area, just a 4-minute delay if you're coming in from the Wake Forest area on US 1 South. But Apex, you're coming in from Durham, delay free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. This morning marks nearly a month since water restrictions were put in place in Raleigh. Out of the city's 660,000 customers and Raleigh water customers, only 17 warning letters have been sent out since those restrictions began. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live at Falls Lake. And Kelsey, the city says that people should keep complying with these restrictions, especially as we head into warmer weather this weekend.
Yes, Laura, watering your lawn and your plants is the #1 driver for increased demand for water, especially during those hot days like what we're expecting to see this weekend. That's why the city's message this morning is to keep following their guidelines. Water levels here at Falls Lake are an indicator of where we are with this ongoing drought. We'll show you some video from Sky 5 that captures just how low lake levels are right now. As of this week, Ed Butkin with Raleigh Water says the lake is at 77%. That still fits the criteria for stage 1 restrictions. He says customers can use other options to water their lawns instead of a sprinkler system to help save water.
We also remind our customers that there's other forms of irrigation that folks can use, like soaker hoses, things like that, drip irrigation. Use a lot less water. There's a lot less water loss to evaporation using those techniques.
Charlotte just transitioned into stage 2 restrictions today, but we've got a while before we could get there here in Raleigh. Butkin says that water levels here at Falls Lake would have to drop 22% in order for that to happen. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live at Falls Lake.
Well, the Triangle is packed this weekend with festivals and fun events.
Yeah, first of all, the Got to Be NC Festival happening this weekend. It opens today at noon, actually, and runs through Sunday at the State Fairgrounds just off Trinity Road in Raleigh. It's free for everyone to go. This festival highlights North Carolina agriculture and entertainment with plenty of activities and lots of great food. Also, Artsplosion kicking off tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning in downtown Raleigh. The two-day event features a market with work from artists from all across the country, entertainment, activities for the kids, and art installations. I will be there on Sunday. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will work the main stage tomorrow. WRAL is a proud sponsor of this event.
And happening tomorrow, the Bimbay Cultural Arts Festival takes place in Durham. The festival is a celebration of African and African American heritage. It will feature live music, a market with work from local artists, food, and so much more. The event is tomorrow from 1 until 7 p.m. at Rock Quarry Park. And we know Dougie Fresh is the headliner. WRAL is a media sponsor. So rising costs are putting pressure now on the organizers of these festivals we're seeing, Ken.
Yeah, let's get to WR's Kirsten Clark. She's joining us live from the State Fairgrounds this morning. And Kirsten, organizers are hoping not to pass on these overruns to people who are attending.
Yes, Ken, and they're expecting a big turnout here to the State Fairgrounds in just a few hours for the Got to Be NC Festival. I'll take a step out of the way so you can see what they've got here. You can see food stands as well as several carnival rides and other vendors. But the price for all of this to get here has only gone up. I spoke with organizers of Got to Be NC, the Bimbay Cultural Arts Festival, and Artsplosion. In Durham, Bimbay organizers say they're having to think creatively to maximize the festival's set budget. Artsplosion's executive director described the rising price for necessities like materials, equipment, and labor nearly 10% higher year over year. And State Fair Director Kent Yelverton says he's noticed the biggest financial strain on the vendors.
Their cost of their supplies are always a variable. Whether it's their protein supplies or their dry goods supplies, they're always having to factor in those things. Certainly fuel is at the top of that list because they are moving every week.
Yeah, so Yelverton and all the organizers say it's the vendors, the volunteers, and the attendees that really make these festivals what they are. Thankfully, they haven't had to pass on any extra costs to attendees, but that could change if costs continue to rise. Live at the State Fairgrounds in Raleigh, Kirsten Clark, WRAL News.
Kirsten, thank you. Authorities in Harnett County now investigating after a large fire at a tire recycling center. You can see this video here from Sky 5 above the scene yesterday as firefighters worked to put out the flames. The fire was at Liberty Tire Recycling on McCoy Road in Cameron. The fire was fueled by gusty winds, which created challenges for firefighters. It's still unclear what started the fire. We have reached out to the fire department about the cause of the fire and if there were any injuries.
A new chapter in the back and forth between lawmakers and teachers. There have been several calls for higher pay, including in Durham. The Durham Association of Educators gathered last night to talk about the changes they want to see. The group says 8% raise for teacher being discussed by state lawmakers is not enough. They're asking county commissioners to include enough funding in the new budget to raise the district's minimum wage to $19.22 an hour. School employees we spoke with say they're struggling to make a livable wage.
Our teachers work hard. 8% is not enough. They need a lot more. A lot of the classified employees have to work 2 or 3 jobs because they're not making ends meet.
Classified employees like bus drivers, cafeteria workers, and the like. Commissioners have several weeks before they need to be finalizing that budget. A public hearing on the budget is scheduled for Tuesday.
Happening right now, President Donald Trump is heading to Alaska on Air Force One after his 2-day summit with Chinese President Xi Jinping. The president and Chinese President Xi met at the latter's official residence today ahead of Trump's departure. The two leaders discussed trade, Taiwan, and the Strait of Hormuz during their summit. And President Trump says that they are both in agreement on Iran.
We feel very similar, right? We want that to end. We don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. We want the straits open.
The president is expected to return to Washington, D.C. later today.
A traffic alert now, a major road closure that could affect your weekend plans. The state DOT shutting down most of the I-440 Western Boulevard interchange starting tonight. Let's get to WRAL's Ali Kadlabar. She's joining us driving through that intersection. And Ali, this project has caused a lot of headaches for drivers over the years.
And Ken, on Monday there will be some relief for drivers. But first, as we're driving through this interchange here, there's going to be a lot more crews on the I-440 Western Boulevard interchange. They are shutting down 6 routes at this interchange. Now, there are some ramps drivers can go on, and so here's a map of the 2 routes marked in yellow that will be open this weekend. You can take I-440 West to westbound Western, or I-440 East to eastbound Western. Now, the green arrows show the 2 other detours, Melbourne Road and Hillsborough Street. NCDOT says drivers will be able to use all lanes on Monday.
You're going to start driving it the way it's intended. We're not going to be working on lane closures. All lanes will be open to travelers. All lanes will be open to traffic and in its final pattern.
That sounds great. All lanes will be open. Final traffic pattern. The closure is from 8 p.m. tonight to 5 a.m. on Monday. Now, NCDOT says you may still see some crews working on final touches after that, so we're not all the way finished with the cones and barrels out here, but they did say that all lanes will be open. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
Your time now, 8:11. Vandalism concerns. Neighbors are responding to broken windows at St. Aug's University. Why they're worried this will negatively affect their neighborhood.
And it's a chilly start this morning, but we're seeing lots of sunshine across our area. There's a live look at Lewisburg. We're looking at a big change over the weekend. I'll show you why it will warm up so quickly coming up. 8:14, we take a live look at North Hills right now, looking absolutely beautiful. Lots of sunshine, blue sky here. It started cool this morning, but our temperatures are almost 10 degrees warmer in some places than they were like an hour or so ago. 54 in Wilson now, it's 52 in Raleigh, 56 in Fayetteville. Temperatures will continue to climb quickly, so if you're thinking about lunch outside, it's Friday. Temperatures should be right around 70 degrees, so especially if you're in the sun, it should feel pretty comfortable. A really nice afternoon as we climb at 77 around 4 to 5 o'clock, and of course it's Friday. If you're out and about this evening, temperatures should be in the low 70s until we get to around 9 p.m. Big changes for us over the weekend. It'll be a quick warm up. We have heat and humidity in our forecast. I'll show you how hot it will feel coming up. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Just a handful of incidents dotting a live traffic map this morning, but nothing affecting any of our major routes. I want to check a couple of secondary roads that tend to get busy depending on the time of the morning. Coming in from Wake Forest right now on US 1, you're just looking at a 3-minute delay to I-540. On Roseville, you're coming in on Fayetteville Road 401, just a 1-minute delay. And speaking of I-540, we're seeing just a 1-minute delay. Basically, it's clear sailing on I-540 if that's part of your morning commute.
Ken, thank you. St. Augustine's University is dealing with vandalism now. According to Raleigh police, officers found 20 windows shattered on campus, adding up to about $10,000 in damage. So people living nearby tell WRAL there is only one security guard on duty. They also say the campus is only partially secured, and that makes it a target for vandals and people looking for a place to stay. Many neighbors say they are hoping the university makes a comeback. One alumna tells WRAL cases like this make it difficult for the university to have a comeback.
We are already fighting to come back. And if things continue to get destroyed, if things continue to fall apart, I just don't know how we can come back from that.
She also says that the local community needs to stay vigilant to prevent any more damage being done to this historic university. WRAL reached out to the university's bankruptcy administrator as well. They say the school's bankruptcy counsel is working to properly secure the campus.
Well, the state SBI is investigating a disturbance at Rocky Mount City Hall involving 2 council members. Witnesses telling WRAL Charles Robinson and Andre Knight were fighting. They say it started not long after an interaction between representatives from a development company and Councilmember Robertson. No injuries were reported, but residents at that meeting were moved into a brief lockdown. WRAL reached out to the city council and investigators for more information. We're still waiting to hear back. We'll let you know what we hear once they do tell us what's going on.
The Carolina Hurricanes are 1 game closer to finding out who will play in the Eastern Conference Final. Montreal pulled off a 6-3 win against Buffalo last night in their series. The Canadiens are up 3 games to 2 and 1 win away from the conference final. Game 6 of the series is tomorrow night. So the outcome of Game 6 in that series could also determine when the Hurricanes' next game is. If the Canadiens win and advance to the conference final, the series will start on Tuesday, and Game 2 would be the next Thursday. Now, if Buffalo wins tomorrow and forces Game 7, Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final will start next Thursday, and Game 2 will be the following Saturday. No matter the outcome, Games 1 and 2 will be played at Lenovo Center.
All right, happening tonight, there will be a fireworks show after the Wilson Warbirds game. The team had held off on setting off fireworks during the statewide burn ban. Tonight's game against the Hill City Howlers starts at 7 o'clock. There'll also be a fireworks show after tomorrow night's game as well. The Warbirds game and lots of other fun activities all across the area this weekend.
Let's take a look at WRAL's Out and About. It's a busy one, okay? The Durham Greek Festival gets started tomorrow. The festival will have delicious Greek food and pastries, traditional music and folk dance and shopping. That will be at the St. Barbara Greek Orthodox Church on NC 751. The festival runs through Sunday and starts at 11 a.m. each day.
Also happening in Durham, the Common Roots Festival is celebrating Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. The event will feature Asian artists, performances, and a whole lot of delicious food. The festival will be at Durham Central Park tomorrow, starting at 3 o'clock in the afternoon until 8 p.m. It's free to attend. We'll be talking with one of the organizers in our 9 o'clock hour. And happening tomorrow in Cary, a celebration of cars from all generations. The town hosting Wheels on Academy Car Show. The show will include a competition for Best in Show, and judges will rank the best cars by decade. That will be at the Town Hall campus starting at 7 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. For more weekend activities, just go to our website, WRAL.com, and search Out and About.
Hey, and if you are planning to head out to any of those activities, pack the water, the shades, the sunscreen, Elizabeth. It's going to be a warm one.
It is. And, you know, it's been really nice in May. We had some hot temperatures in April, but it's kind of hard to make that transition, especially when it happens so fast, which is what's going to happen this weekend. It looks beautiful out right now. This is a live look at Lewisburg. We're looking down the bridge over Tar River, and it's a gorgeous start to the day. Our temperature right now in the low 50s in the Triangle. Right now, the wind is west, but it shifts to southwesterly over the next few hours and really starts to push that the moisture and the warmth into our area. This high pressure system in the last 24 hours has been pulling down the chilly air. We started off with mid 40s this morning, but we're already starting to warm up some. As it slides eastward, the wind will shift to southwesterly, and that's what's going to really heat things up. So upper 80s tomorrow, but look at this string. 5 days in the 90s potentially. We typically average 2 days in the 90s in May, and so we could blow that right out of the water. We take a look at our next weather maker. It's a wetter pattern that's possible as we get into next week. So starting on Thursday, we could see some rain, and of course Thursday is the last day that we have on the 7-day forecast. So we're going to be watching what could happen next weekend pretty carefully. You can see that high of 90 Thursday. We have a chance of afternoon and evening storms. We're going to give it about a 50% chance. Currently about 1/4 of an inch of rain possible on Thursday, unless that front starts to move a little more slowly. Then beyond that, for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, of course, that's the big Memorial Day holiday weekend. The models are showing chances of rain almost every day through the weekend, but there's no real consensus on which days it may be or how much we'll see. So it's still out of the range of our 7-day forecast. So we'll continue to watch it, but something to kind of put in the back of your mind that it could be a bit wet for the holiday weekend, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, happening now. We're going to take a spin around some of our major routes, see what's happening. Let's start with I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. These are the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. You can see a little bit of a congestion going on, but just about a 1 minute delay right there. But if you're navigating I-40 westbound, you're coming in from the Garner-Johnson County area, even Wade Avenue, it's delay free. So let's hop on over to the northern loop of the Beltline. We're picking up some delays as a result of this crash right here on I-440 westbound near the Wake Forest Road exit, causing delays stretching always past the Capitol Boulevard exit. Right now, at this point, you're just looking at a 5-minute delay on that northern loop of the Beltline, but you will see some police activity there around the Wake Forest Road exit. So keep that in mind if you're listening to us on the radio right now. I-87 and Smithfield Road, the southbound lanes, boy, that's free and clear this morning. We're not picking up any congestion on that I-87 corridor. Right now, you're really just looking at a 1 minute delay at best. The other thing, too, boy, things have gotten a lot better coming in from Wake Forest and US 1. You're just looking at a 2-minute delay. All the other routes into the Raleigh-Wake County area delay free right now. Similarly, we're seeing very little to no delays on the routes heading into Durham, short of a 3-minute delay if you're using Highway 98 to get to Durham from Wake Forest. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. Time now, 8:23. Tracking hantavirus. More than 40 people being monitored in the U.S. for the virus, putting health leaders on alert. A closer look at just how prepared North Carolina is. And if you see breaking news, have a story tip, or take video or pictures of the weather, report it to us at WRAL.com/report it.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus.
Good morning and happy Friday. The time is 8:26. I'm Laura Levine. Let's get right over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking the forecast for us. Elizabeth?
It's real pretty out there this morning. We take a live look at North Hills. You can see the blue sky and the sunshine there. Expect temperatures to continue to warm up pretty significantly. We were in the mid-40s just a little while ago, and now it's 52 in Raleigh, 52 in Roanoke Rapids, 54 in Wilson, and 55 degrees in Goldsboro. Dog walking forecast looking comfortable this morning, and then warming up nicely into the upper 70s for this afternoon. If you're walking the dog after work, temperatures should be in the low 70s all the way up until around 9 p.m. Ken?
Happening now, Elizabeth, we're showing you this northern loop of the Beltline at I-440 and New Bern Avenue. The westbound lanes coming toward us this morning. We're not seeing any delays in this area, but as we widen out the view of the northern loop of the Beltline, there's a crash right here, right near the Wake Forest Road interchange, causing some delays stretching past Capitol Boulevard. So right now you're looking at a 5-minute delay. That delay could increase. I'll keep an eye on it and have another update for you at the bottom of the hour.
The NCDOT is shutting down most of the I-440 Western Boulevard interchange starting tonight. 6 different interchanges will be closed starting at 8 p.m. However, you can take I-440 West to westbound Western or I-440 East to eastbound. The interchanges are expected to reopen to traffic at 5 a.m. on Monday. Authorities in Hornet County now investigating after a large fire at a tire recycling center. The fire was at Liberty Tire Recycling on McCoy Road in Cameron. It's still unclear what started the fire. We have reached out to the fire department about the cause and if there were any injuries. Coming up next on Fox 50, rising costs are putting a strain on festival organizers ahead of a busy weekend in the Triangle. And coming up on Today, catching up with Ella Bright and Belmont Camilli for Amazon's Off Campus.
Comfortable today, but after that, it feels like summer. How the heat and humidity could affect your weekend plans.
Water restrictions progress. Constraints on when you can water your lawn are even more critical as heat moves in this weekend. How Raleigh city leaders say you can help protect water levels.
Big festivals, a lot of major events happening in the Triangle this weekend. WRAL looks into the costs for organizers, how they're trying to avoid passing those costs on to you. Right, so much happening in the Triangle this weekend, but we get to all that coming up. Thanks for being with us. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Laura Levine. Yes, so much music, dancing, good vibes, and that's how we're kicking off our Friday. Let's head over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. And Elizabeth, it's going to be nice but warm this weekend.
It is, yeah. Temperatures are going to be really some of the warmest that we've seen because we're going to add the humidity to it. So it's going to feel like mid to upper 90s. Ooh, it just seems early for that, doesn't it? It's a pretty start this morning, though, and our temperatures were cool right around sunrise. We were in the mid-40s. We're starting to warm up now. This is a live look from the Well Departments over at downtown Raleigh, where skies are completely completely clear. It's a west wind right now, 6 miles per hour, but we'll get into more of a southwesterly wind, which really bumps up our temperature for tomorrow. But right now it's 52 degrees heading out in the Triangle, 56 in Fayetteville, 53 up in South Hill. Sunny and mild this afternoon, right around 70 at lunchtime, and then we'll climb into the upper 70s for highs this afternoon. We jump right on up into the upper 80s for Saturday and then low 90s for Sunday. Sunday's the day that the humidity really starts to kick in, and I'll show you how many days next week that could linger. Coming up, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, happening now. We're starting with this live look at the northern loop of the Beltline, specifically this area of I-440 and New Bern Avenue. These are the westbound lanes coming toward us this morning. We're not seeing any delays in this particular area, but as we widen out the view, first responders are working a crash right near the Wake Forest Road exit, causing a little bit of congestion going all the way back to Capitol Boulevard. So right now, you're just looking at a 4-minute delay on that northern loop of the Beltline, but you will see some police activity there around the Wake Forest Road area. Here's a live look at the southern loop of the Beltline now, I-40 Lake Wheeler Road. These are the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. That's the usual congestion we see this time of the morning. But really and truly, as jammed up as that looks, you're just looking at a 2-minute delay. And if you're navigating I-40 westbound, coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area, or even through Wade Avenue, it's clear sailing on I-40 westbound this morning. So let's widen out the view, give you a look at some other routes coming into the Raleigh-Wade County area. You're looking at a 4-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest, but you're coming in from Durham and Apex. You're coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area, delay free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Okay, Ken, thank you. Today marks nearly a month since water restrictions were put in place in Raleigh. Out of all 660,000 Raleigh water customers, only 17 warning letters have been sent out since those restrictions began. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains that the city says these constraints are critical as we expect warmer weather this weekend.
Watering your lawn and your plants is the #1 driver for increased demand for water, especially during hot days like what we're expecting to see this weekend. That's why the city's message today is to keep following their guidelines. Water levels here at Falls Lake give us an indicator of where we are with this ongoing drought. Let's take you to new Sky 5 video that captures just how low lake levels are right now. As of this week, Ed Butkin with Raleigh Water says the lake is at 77%. That still fits the criteria for stage 1 restrictions. He says following water restrictions becomes even more critical as it gets warmer.
Only irrigate on the day that's permitted. It's Tuesdays, odd addresses, Wednesdays, even addresses. And to irrigate usually in the early morning or around dusk, where evaporation is lowest rather than the middle of the day.
Charlotte went into stage 2 restrictions today, but it's a while before we could get there in Raleigh. Butkin says that water levels here at Falls Lake would have to drop 22% this month in order for that to happen. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News at Falls Lake.
And as you heard Elizabeth mention a little bit ago, it's going to be a warm and dry weekend. Perfect weather, really, for all the big activities and events happening around the Triangle. Let's start with the Got to Be and See Festival happening this weekend. It actually opens at noon today, runs through Sunday at the State Fairgrounds, just off Trinity Road in Raleigh. It's free to go. This festival highlights North Carolina agriculture with entertainment, activities, and lots of great food. Also, Artsplosion kicking off tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning in downtown Raleigh. The two-day event features a market with works of artists from all across the country. It'll feature entertainment, activities for the kids, and art installations. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will be working the main stage on Sunday. I will be on Saturday, tomorrow, and I will be there on Sunday. WRAL is a proud community sponsor of this event. You can also check out the 56th annual Bimbe Cultural Arts Festival. Enjoy live music, a market with works of arts from all over the country. The festival is Saturday from 1 o'clock in the afternoon until 7 p.m. at Rock Quarry Park. Dougie Fresh is a headliner for that event. WRAL is a media sponsor. Now, the rising costs of putting pressure on the organizer of all these festivities. Let's get to WRAL's Kirsten Clark. She's live at the State Fairgrounds this morning. And Kirsten, organizers are hoping not to pass on these costs over to people who attend.
Yes, Ken, and they're expecting a lot of people to attend here at the State Fairgrounds for the Got to Be in Sea Festival, kicking off in just a few hours this afternoon. You can see they've already got several carnival rides, food stands, and so much more already set up. But the price for all of this to get here has only gone up. I spoke with organizers of Got to Be in Sea, the Bimbay Cultural Arts Festival, and Artsplosion. They say increased fuel prices makes traveling for vendors and ride operators more expensive. In Durham, Bimbay organizers say they're having to think creatively to maximize the festival's set budget. Artsplosion Executive Director Michael Lauder described the rising price for necessities like materials, equipment, and labor. And he says overall costs have gone up 8 to 9% year over year.
We want people to come and discover great visual art, great craft, great performers. I think we can continue that. But if the economy continues the way it does, then who knows?
Yeah, so the organizers of each of these festivals, they say the vendors, the volunteers, and really the attendees are what make these festivals what they are. Thankfully, they have not had to pass on any extra costs to attendees, but that could change if costs continue to rise. Live at the State Fairgrounds in Raleigh, Kirsten Clark, WRAL News.
U.S. health officials are now monitoring 16 more people across the country for symptoms of the hantavirus. That's according to the CDC. The new people the CDC reported were not on the cruise ship where the outbreak started. These were passengers on a flight to South Africa, with a Dutch woman who was infected and then later died. Meanwhile, 6 cruise ship passengers connected to the outbreak are back in Australia and entering quarantine. They were flown in from the Netherlands and landed in that area today. They previously evacuated from the ship in the Canary Islands off the coast of Spain. They're set to be in a quarantine facility for the next 3 weeks.
Hey, Laura, I want to bring our viewers here to the WRAL Live Center for an update. This within the past 30 minutes or so, we've learned that Iran's foreign minister is saying that Iran's leadership has, quote, no trust in the United States and will only negotiate if the United States is serious. And the foreign minister there said this in front of reporters and also mentioned that all vessels can pass through the Strait of Hormuz so long as they are not at war with Tehran. Now, you may recall the ceasefire was announced last month, but there have been those conflicts that have popped up here and there since that was put in place. And so this latest development, hearing this, what does this mean for the effort to broker peace between our countries? Well, that's a story that we're watching very closely. We'll see what President Donald Trump has to say, though he is traveling back from China after a 2-day visit. Stay with WRAL News. We'll keep you informed.
Chris, thank you. We have a heads up for drivers now. There's a major road closure that could affect your weekend plans. Starting tonight, NCDOT is shutting down most of the I-440 Western Boulevard interchange. WRAL's Ali Calabar joins us live from Western Boulevard in Raleigh. And Ali, this is the final push for this project.
Yeah, and there will hopefully be some relief for drivers on Monday. And I'm going to flip the camera because we are driving through this interchange right now. And you can see those cones, those barrels. You can also see crews even working here. We've seen this for years now. And tonight, NCDOT will be shutting down most of the intersection to finish up this project. Now, here's a map of the 2 routes marked in yellow that will be open this weekend. So you can take I-440 West to westbound Western or I-440 East to eastbound Western Boulevard. The 6 other interchange routes will be closed. The green arrows show the 2 detours, Melbourne Road and Hillsborough Street. Now, NCDOT says it's just one of the final stretches for this project.
It is a very big closure. And after we reopen Monday morning, all lanes that are available will be open. So we'll have no closed lanes and traffic will be in its final pattern at Western Boulevard.
Its final pattern Monday morning. Now, the closure is set to last from 8 tonight to 5 a.m. Monday. NCDOT says you may still see some crews working on some finishing touches out here. Now, this is one of several I-440 interchange projects ongoing. NCDOT says that those are likely to be complete this summer. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Calabar, WRAL News.
Well, WakeMed would hold a series of forums on the proposed atrium takeover. The first of 5 meetings will start next week on Tuesday, May 19th. It will be at the WakeMed Raleigh campus on New Bern Avenue. Now, people can ask questions and discuss Atrium's takeover of WakeMed. Next week's meeting starts at 6 o'clock in the evening.
Today we'll learn who is this year's Wells Fargo NC Principal of the Year. The nominees have been narrowed down from 9 finalists from across the state. 3 principals from the Triangle are among those finalists. The Principal of the Year will spend the 2026-27 school year traveling the state as an ambassador. They'll also get a number of prizes. Today's award ceremony gets started at 12:30. You can tune into our afternoon and evening news to find out who wins.
Murder conviction. Lawyers representing former South Carolina attorney Alec Murdaugh are talking publicly about the case, but they believe his convictions will be overturned.
And it's a beautiful start to our Friday. Lots of sunshine here in Pittsburgh. We're seeing that all across the viewing area. Today feels comfortable, but not so much over the weekend. I'll show you when the heat and the humidity kick in coming up. 8:44, we take a live look down Salem Street in Apex. Looks beautiful here. Some people walking up and down, enjoying a cool start to the day. We were in the 40s earlier. We're now climbing into the 50s. So nice little warm up in place right now. 52 in Southern Pines, 52 in Raleigh, 54 Wilson, 56 in Goldsboro. Outdoor dining, yeah, it's going to be a little cool potentially at lunchtime. Temperature right around 70. But this afternoon we'll climb into the low 70s. And if you're going to be eating dinner outside, it'll be in the low 70s. I think that should feel nice and comfortable. You may want to rethink that over the weekend. I'll show you how hot it will get and when the humidity really starts to kick in. Coming up, Ken.
All right, brother, traffic every 10 minutes. We're showing you this northern loop of the Beltline, I-440 New Bern Avenue. Those westbound lanes coming toward us this morning. For this reason, first responders are working a crash right near the Wake Forest Road exit, causing some delays stretching all the way back to Capitol Boulevard. Right now, you're looking at a 4-minute delay, not necessarily something that's going to make you late, but you're going to see some police activity around the Wake Forest Road exit.
Okay, Ken, thank you. The lawyers representing former South Carolina attorney Alec Murdaugh in his double murder case are now reacting to his overturned guilty verdicts. They spoke exclusively on the Today Show yesterday. Murdaugh was granted a new trial after the state Supreme Court ruled his previous trial was tainted. He was convicted of killing his wife and son 5 years ago. One of his lawyers thinks Murdaugh has a decent shot of getting acquitted this time around.
If you take away all those financial crime, prejudicial, victims testifying, and the Supreme Court talked about that yesterday, you've got no forensic evidence, no fingerprints, no eyewitness, no confession, no video. The only thing they have is this, he lied about where he was.
South Carolina's Attorney General says he was disappointed with the court's ruling, but will work quickly to retry the case. Murdaugh will stay in prison because of his past financial crimes. Tonight on WRAL, an all-new Dateline digs into the twists in the Alec Murdaugh case. New interviews with those closely connected to the case, including more from Craig Melvin's exclusive interview with the Murdaugh legal team. Dateline's 2-hour episode in the matter of Alec Murdaugh airs tonight at 9 p.m. on WRAL, followed by WRAL's Late News.
Former FBI Director James Comey has hired a Raleigh attorney to defend him against the DOJ's latest indictment accusing him of threatening President Trump. A notice was filed in federal court yesterday in the Eastern District of North Carolina. The attorney will serve as one of the attorneys on his legal team. According to his firm's website, he has more than 30 years of experience in state and federal courts. His clients have included Ruffin Poole, a top aide to former Governor Mike Easley, who pleaded guilty to 1 count of federal tax evasion back in 2010. Comey is accused of threatening President Trump by posting a picture of seashells on a North Carolina beach on Instagram. The shells form the numbers 8647. 86 is a common phrase in restaurant that means to cancel or get rid of an order. And President Trump is the 47th president of the United States. The trial is expected to start July 15th.
A group of former workers for Spirit Airlines is now suing the company for back pay and benefits. 6 plaintiffs claim they are still owed money for hours worked and vacation days not taken. The suit says Spirit misled employees by telling them it planned to continue operations and to ignore media reports that it was about to shut down. The lawsuit seeks to become a class action. That could involve the representation of 17,000 workers who lost their jobs.
The town of Apex says it plans to start charging late fees and disconnecting customers who have not paid their utility bills. The policy has not been in effect for 2 years. Starting July, it goes back into effect. Late fees will apply to anyone with an outstanding balance. Customers will get disconnected if they owe at least $500 and are more than 90 days on their late payment. The best-selling female artist in the country music industry is returning this weekend, but not to perform. David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
The biggest names in country take the stage this weekend at the Academy of Country Music Awards. This year's host is the legendary Shania Twain, who says she wants to make the performers feel relaxed and comfortable.
But it can be very, very stressful for the nominees and the artists, right? So I feel my role is to represent fun, a good time, and be a cheerleader.
The 61st ACM Awards stream live from Las Vegas Sunday on Prime Video.
Well, I mean, there's so much stuff. And
Ben Stiller is staying busy. The actor and director is set to star in the Netflix film A Matter of Time. It's about an unlikely angel who's sent to convince a reclusive man to give up his life for the good of society. No word on a release date for the project. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
So the Carolina Panthers are having a little bit of fun promoting next season's schedule.
And a lot of new music from Drake. Here's a look at what's trending. Drake fans waking up to quite the surprise this morning. The rapper and singer released not one, not two, but 3 new albums. Iceman came out at midnight, but again, that's not all that he released. 2 more surprise albums, including albums called Maid of Honor and Habiti. We know that means my dear, my love, my honey. So I didn't get a chance to listen to all of it, obviously. A little overwhelming, 3 albums, but so many fans excited. Okay?
Yeah, and they have a lot of music. 43 songs with those 3 albums.
Yeah.
He was a busy man.
Yeah, he said, you know what? Drake versus Drake.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Hey, the Carolina Panthers are prepared to blow up their competition next season. Players were on hand as professionals blew up items related to the teams they are expected to play next year. The Panthers will be looking to return to the playoffs after winning the NFC South last year. Week 1, the Carolina Panthers will be at home facing the Chicago Bears.
I love how much fun they have with those videos, rolling out the schedule. It's so funny. It's so cool.
It really is. Yeah. Everybody's so creative with their social media.
Yeah. And the warmer weather, it's kind of getting us ready for all of the sports action that we're going to see in the coming months.
Yeah, we take a live look here at Rocky Mount Mills. Looks absolutely beautiful here. Lots of sunshine. Our temperatures were pretty chilly this morning, starting off in the mid-40s. But look at this. We're already in the low 50s. And we'll climb to right around 70 by lunchtime today. We'll have a southwesterly wind that keeps the warm-up going as we get into the weekend. Right now it's 56 in Holly Springs, 52 in Morrisville, 54 in Gardner currently. And temperatures are still about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than they were this time yesterday. But we'll have a nice looking afternoon. Upper 70s in Raleigh and Durham, right around 80 degrees in Fayetteville. Got to be in Sea Festival. It kicks off today at noon if you're headed there after work. 73 at 6 o'clock. You may want to take along a jacket. 63 by 10 o'clock if you're planning to be there on the later side. We take a look at what's happening right now. Here is where temperatures are below normal in blue. But here comes the warmth crossing the Mississippi Valley and rolling right on in here. We'll be above normal tomorrow with a high of 87. Now this morning temperatures were in the mid-40s. Tomorrow morning 52. But after that, not only are our highs warm, but the overnight lows also. We'll see lows in the 60s and highs in the 90s starting on Sunday. Right now, we have 5 days in a row in our forecast for highs in the 90s. We haven't seen any 90s so far in May. We average 2 each May. And normally, our first day in the 90s is around May 11th, but we already had several days back in April where we had highs in the 90s. Here's the big change. The difference from April to this round of highs in the 90s is the humidity is going to climb too. Our humidity was pretty low when it was hot back in April, but Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we're likely to be right up there in the steamy category. And because of that, we have the risk of extreme heat. Possibly it could feel more like mid to upper 90s. We take a look at our forecast going forward. Our next best chance of rain comes Thursday. That's a long time from now, but we're already tracking a front that could bring us some showers and thunderstorms. It's possible that that would linger into the holiday weekend. So we'll be watching closely as we get a little bit closer to that weekend. Laura?
Okay, Elizabeth, thank you. And before we go to break, here are the winning lottery numbers. We will get another check on weather and traffic next.